Well, hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Inside Asian Gaming's Trade Talk. I'm your host, Andrew Scott. Under Chairman and CEO, Mr. Lawrence Ho, Melco Resorts Entertainment has been particularly active in recent years. The company, which is listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker MLCO, owns and operates the City of Dreams integrated resorts in Macau and Manila, as well as Studio City, Altira, Mocha Clubs in Macau, and is also developing the City of Dreams Mediterranean in Cyprus, and has been vigorously pursuing an IR license in Japan as well. But on Wednesday last week, the 23rd of June, it was Melco's parent company, Melco International Development, itself listed on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange with stock code 200, announcing a major expansion of its own. So Melco International Development is to joint venture with Agile Group, a major Hong Kong-listed property development conglomerate, to develop a mixed-use commercial, residential and entertainment project in Zhongshan in Guangdong Province, about 30 kilometres north of Macau. And here to discuss this with us further is Executive Director of Melco International, Mr. Clarence Chung. Clarence, welcome to Trade Talk.
Hello, hi.
So this is quite a substantial investment. You know, we're looking at hundreds of millions of US dollars, even potentially, I guess, over $1 billion in the long term. How long was the tender process and the overall deal in the making?
Well, in fact, we have been looking at the Greater Bay Areas for a long time. And I think we have been looking at the various cities within GBA, Zhongshan, Jiangmen, Zhuhai, and the rest of it. And of course, I think, as you know, Zhongshan is very special. And in a way that, well, if you know, there is a Shenzhen-Zhongshan bridge being built across from the Bao'an areas of Shenzhen. And then when built, which is going to be opened in 2024, the distance between Shenzhen, Bao'an, Nanshan to Zhongshan would only be 23 kilometers away. So imagine it would be a 15-20 minutes drive. And also on top, there is a Guangzhou subway number 18 being built all the way from Shenzhen, Tianhe, going down to south to Nansha, and then to this Cheiheng, Zhongshan area, and then all the way to Zhuhai. So our site is basically located right in the junction of these two major infrastructure, and that Guangzhou's 18 subway is going to be kind of completed also by 2025. So with that, well, you can see Zhongshan basically is in the center of the GBA. So that's why we have been very excited and also privileged that we can get this project. So we have been working on this project for multiple years, at least. Well, we have discussed with the government, etc., looking at the various options in the site for over 2-3 years.
Well, that's quite a long time. It is a very large project. I mean, where did the origins of this partnership with Agile begin? Because Agile's obviously a very huge company and you guys are going to be JVing with them. So how will that joint venture work in terms of who's responsible for what and sharing of profits, that sort of thing?
Okay. Well, in fact, we have been looking at driving this particular project for, as I mentioned, 2 to 3 years' time. And then along the way, well, we found out that also, well, since this is the Melco Group first entry into China, I think we probably wanted to be pay a little bit more kind of cautious. And indeed, well, that's why we wanted to partner with someone who has vast experience in these areas and also with the real estate development per se. So Agile has been reaching out to us, and also they're also very interested to partner with us. As you know, the whole area is kind of a new township area, similar to the Zhujiang in Guangzhou. So Agile has already got a site quite rich next to us, and they're going to build a 460-meter tall of commercial towers next to us. And when they know about us in terms of this project, they approach us, and then we also find out that they're very good. They're a very good company, and they are one of the largest real estate development companies. So and the chemistries also work. So indeed, we partner with them, and basically they are helping us in terms of developing the non-theme park areas, mainly the residential and the others commercials. But then for us, we are trying to focus to do what is our best, which is the entertainment areas, the theme park, as well as certain of the related commercial and related retails, and potentially hotel.
So you mentioned the theme park. I mean, the filing that went to the Hong Kong Stock Exchange on Wednesday mentioned that Melco International is a 51% owner of the JV firm, if I understand correctly. But actually on the ground, the main involvement will be restricted to the theme park. And you mentioned just then, potentially hotel as well. What can you tell us about that? In relation to hospitality?
Well, as I mentioned, I think since this is the very first project, and we kind of decided we wanted to be relatively asset light rather than put a huge amount of capex, like what you said. It can be all the way up to $1 billion US. So we pick and choose what both party, us and Agile, the best. So that's why we initially focus for this particular project. We focus on the theme park and the related entertainment elements or leisure elements, that's also suits in terms of being a little bit more prudent for the time being, and also for our initial project. But I'm sure that probably is not our only project. This will well be our first project, and for the second, third, etc. Probably we'll evaluate the situation, and maybe we probably also would involve in other areas if we would like to.
It's interesting you mentioned future projects. I'm going to get onto that a little bit later, but I want to talk about this this project first. So can you tell us some of the features? What will people see from this development?
Well, I would say Melco Resort has developed a lot of entertainment elements in Macau, the dancing water show, and the other elements in Studio City, the Fortune 8 Ferris wheel, etc. So we have developed various IPs and experiences and expertise in Macau. I think it would be kind of considered as an extension of the DNAs into this park. And as you know, the China market in terms of a leisure entertainment market is growing. And in particular, the central government is promoting domestic travels, inner circulations, I think as a strategy, which we believe is right and also is good. So we do think that the entertainment leisure industries has tremendous opportunities, and that's why we do think that these kind of theme park, which we can sort of leverage our IPs and our DNAs, it would be very interesting. So you'll find out it would be unique with a lot of wow factors and a premium product that would be differentiates from our others competitors, while we're still catering to our target audience.
I mean, I think you've slated it to open in 2025, which is still a little while off. So I understand you're probably still developing some things. But are there any? You mentioned House of Dancing Water and the Fortune 8. I mean, are there any specific features or rides or shows or elements that you can share with us now, or is it too early for that?
Well, I would say we're still assessing what is best for that particular market. And of course, definitely we'll leverage certain of our IPs in there. but I would probably put it in some sort of a secrecy for now.
Fair enough. Okay, let's move on. So what attracted Melco to be involved in a substantial non-gaming project like this? All of Melco's other assets, or most of Melco's other certainly major assets, have a gaming element, but being in mainland China, this clearly can't have a gaming element. Why suddenly the decision to get involved in such a big non-gaming project on the mainland?
Well, as I said, we do see that the tremendous growth potentials in China, particularly in the GBA area. So that's why, we have our base in Macau. And when we look at the new projects, of course, it would be closer to home would be better. That's why along the west side of the Pearl River is something of an ideal. Again, given the central government's encouragement for domestic travels, we do see the growth, and also with the GDP growth, etc. We do see the potential growth of leisure entertainment in the next 15-20 years, which is tremendous. And with higher GDP, higher personal income, and a little bit longer in terms of free time, more free time, etc. Well, people would look for things to do. It may not be a long trip, but it would be a kind of a day trip or overnight trip. In this case, it would be a huge market.
Yeah, I guess, as I said before, being so close to Macau, logistically very good.
Yes.
How will you guys look to leverage on your experience in Macau? Obviously, now you've been in Macau, more than 10 years. You've learned a lot. You've now got this experience in the tourism industry, specifically to Macau. How can you leverage on that experience and that IP and that knowledge and know-how into this project, this non-gaming project in the mainland?
Well, again, we definitely can leverage what the IPs that we have developed in Macau. Second is the expertise and the domain knowledge that we also acquired during the years. And thirdly, as you know, in Macau, we are serving, the kind of a similar customer base, which is from China, and then, either the premium mass or the mass market. So in fact, we think we know them. And indeed, we just will gather whatever the experience and the expertise that we have, and then we just using that to develop another product that would appeal to them.
So you mentioned before about the GBA, obviously a huge concept right now, of particular of interest to Macau and companies in Macau. What role will this particular project play in the development of GBA? And also, I'm interested in knowing the strategic importance that Melco places on assisting China with its long-term ambitions for the GBA. I mean, is this first of many and GBA focused because you want to assist China with this sort of grand plan of the GBA that we have over the next 10 or 20 years?
Right. Well, again, it's kind of helping them, helping us. As you know, the GBA is one of the focus that the central government is focused to build. And in fact, we do see the exponential potentials of GBA. So that's why, again, with the development of GBA, of course, we wanted to get a toehold in that particular market. And it's kind of very logical that, we expand and extend our reach from Macau. And I think this probably would be the first major investment by Macanese companies or Macau-based companies into the Greater Bay Areas, which from what you using what you just said is we probably also wanted to contribute and help build the GBA, so that to contribute from Melco, from Mr. Lawrence Ho's perspective, to contribute the development of the Greater Bay Area.
I think for all those Westerners out there, Dai Wan Koi is a little bit of Chinese that they need to learn for this part of the world. Let's switch gears a little bit now. I'm interested in talking. You're obviously executive director of Melco International, the Hong Kong-listed company. From a corporate point of view, from the company's point of view, is this the first time that Melco International has gone into a hospitality or entertainment in its own right rather than via Melco Resorts and Entertainment? I think it is, isn't it?
It is. Well, I think from a corporate perspective, we, over the last 10, 15 years, we have built the Melco Resort as one of the pillars of the Melco International or the Melco Group. So I think now that that particular pillar, which is integrated resort, has been developed, I think from a group perspective, Mr. Ho and us, we're always thinking that, how then we can start to build the other pillars for the group as a whole. So this one, as you know, the Melco Resort is having a gaming elements. But anything without a gaming elements, I think is we'll consider at the group level, at the Melco International level. So that's why this is you consider it's trying to see whether we can build the second pillar of the group, and third and fourth, etc. Melco International, like what I just discussed, they would pick up projects, non-integrated resort, and we also have other relatively other investments, smaller investments within the group. So I think this one is probably would be one of the larger to start with.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, Melco Resorts and Entertainment for all of the integrated resorts and gaming assets, and Melco International for non-gaming assets, and you've already said that you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 more, I guess, tourism and entertainment businesses. But I'm interested, you just to pick up there, you just said about maybe even businesses outside of that. I mean, what kind of businesses might there be in Melco International that are outside the tourism and entertainment sphere? Are you looking at technology, or are you looking at what sort of areas?
Well, we are kind of open-minded. For example, I think Melco International invested in a pre-IPO for a company called EHAN, and that company is doing the kind of a drone for passengers. So indeed, these are kind of the things that, again, from a Melco International perspective, we are fairly open-minded in terms of the areas. So that, again, the technology could be one, sustainability could be another, or this kind of non-gaming leisure entertainment could be another.
Well, that's very interesting indeed. We look forward to following Melco International just as closely as we follow Melco Resorts and Entertainment. Very good.
Thank you.
Clarence Chung, thank you for speaking to the viewers of IAG, and we look forward to speaking with you again and as you make further announcements. Thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time on IAG Trade Talk. Bye for now.